Hey, what's going on guys, I'm Silent Core and welcome back to my Red Dead series. So today we've had somewhat of a media blowout. Rockstar have done 6 different interviews with 6 different gaming websites and given us a whole host of different details relating to the next few updates we'll be seeing into Red Dead Online. So I'm basically going to be summarizing all of these details for you guys in today's video, including new properties, discussing fight clubs in the game, robberies, even a fishing role being added into the game. There's quite a lot to go over. Now what's interesting is one of these publications actually said Rockstar walked us through a game session on Red Dead Online and has facilitated contact with 3 different Rockstar employees for interviews via email. So it's really interesting that they had some kind of hands-on demo privately. Perhaps they even got a first look at what the next DLC is going to be in Red Dead Online. And the timing of this is very interesting, and it looks like we might actually be getting this next DLC a lot sooner than we all expected. Rockstar Insider Tez2 said on GTA forums that there's been more interesting activity on Steam database depot, and it's been added into QA Beta 2, the same pre-release scenario before the Naturalist update. Now what this basically means is Rockstar uses a certain QA beta branch on Steam when they're kind of beta testing right before the next update drops, and the last time this happened was 2 weeks before the Naturalist update dropped, so it's very interesting timing that we have all of these interviews coming out, the press are getting private game sessions, and we also have this new QA beta branch 2 being used. The current Halloween update and the Halloween Outlaw Pass is going to take us on until the 16th of November, so potentially after then, maybe even later on in that week on a Tuesday or a Thursday, we could actually see this update being released. That would be in around a couple of weeks' time. So let's dive right into the new information. Now guys, I'm going to be completely cutting out all the fluff in these interviews. There's a lot of just discussion about stuff we already know. I'm only going to be highlighting the new information and what you guys actually need to know. So first up, this quote comes from Vandal, which is a Spanish outlet I believe, and they discussed actually expanding the storyline around Harriet and Gus, and also even adding more legendary animals in the game. Rockstar said the plot of this interesting conflict, although more legendary animals have continued to be introduced in recent months, it could be expanded soon. Gus's point of view totally clashes with Harriet's and offers players other possibilities and material rewards. The two are great characters that could really exist in the world, and yes, there's chances that they will show up again in the future. And we actually get another couple of hints about what this could actually mean in some of the other publications we'll be going over in this video. But up next in the same article, Rockstar discussed adding properties that aren't actually tied into a role. They said one of the most requested novelties in the game, especially since the properties with the role of the liquorist was introduced, obviously meaning the moonshiner role here, is a change in the outlaw's lifestyle, to live in nature by having their own home. We wanted to take some time before adding more properties. At first, the idea was to have the player feel like an outlaw who has escaped from jail and that he survives in the West, in the wild, in his camp, and we did not want the idea to be hastily forgotten. When creating the role of the liquorist, we thought it was time to evolve, move forward, and give players the option to acquire a property that would fit the outlaw life. And he concludes by saying, "We are always open to new ideas about properties that can function as an isolated content or within a role." Now I've made a whole video before talking about all the purchasable properties that were found in the game files, and they ranged all the way up to a 600 gold bar mansion in the game, so hopefully we will be seeing some of these ownable properties soon. And as cool as the Moonshine Shack is, it's basically a business property. It's not really like an ownable property that you can actually own and live in. Alright, the next few quotes come from a French publication, and they asked, with the Naturalist, you have introduced a new camera which offers some pretty impressive features. What do you want to add in this update? Could we consider a career as a photographer like Albert Mason in the solo mode? Have you thought about other ways to take photos to make it easier and faster? And Rockstar replied, the camera is a great feature that allows players to move around and take pictures, and it gives us the opportunity to incorporate photography into existing roles and in future updates. There you go guys, more photography confirmed in Red Dead Online. I mean, why even have heists at this point when we can just take more pictures? That was sarcasm by the way, there's always one guy in the comment section that doesn't understand it. The same outlet also asked Rockstar, heists are GTA Online's greatest successes. They were also found in Red Dead Redemption 2. Did you think about integrating them into Red Dead Online? And Rockstar said, we are constantly thinking about how to integrate large-scale heists and heists into the Red Dead Online universe. For now, our focus is on building the world as well as developing the careers and pathways players can take. As roles evolve over time, players may need to develop their criminal careers and participate or organize large-scale actions such as robberies. Now, I don't know about you guys, but the tone of this response leads me to believe Rockstar are not planning a major heist DLC at the moment for Red Dead Online, but they did mention large-scale actions such as robberies. You know, I think if they were going to make some kind of outlaw role, I think it's much more likely to involve store robberies, train robberies, you know, actions like that that are a little more easier to develop than a whole heist segment with multiple players doing different things during the heist. The next question is about Mexico. I honestly think the French outlet asked the best questions out of all the interviews that Rockstar did, and they asked, Mexico has yet to be explored in Red Dead Online. It's a pretty popular topic among gamers who eagerly await a map update. Do you plan to extend the card to Mexico? Rockstar gave a pretty generic response by saying, we still have a lot of stories to tell on the current map and some amazing content to implement in the vast regions that are already available. We're not ruling out expanding the map, but at the moment we have some great plans for the large tracts of land that already exists. Now, Rockstar have actually confirmed they're working on a map expansion for GTA Online, so they're probably going to be waiting to see how that pans out before even considering a map expansion in Red Dead Online. Alright, next up, fight clubs in Red Dead Online. Rockstar said before we created the roles, the emergence of a fight club subculture was a very cool thing to me. It wasn't so much weird as a surprise. It really showed that players were into that social vibe in a controlled way, and it's something we'd like to acknowledge in the future. So you guys that have been organising and taking part in your own fight clubs in Red Dead Online will be pleased to hear that Rockstar plan to actually do something with this in the future. And melee combat in Red Dead Online is actually really intricate. If you guys have ever had a boxing match with someone, you know, you have to work with your counters, you have to use your bobs and weaves and stuff like that to be able to avoid shots, and you know, it's actually really intricate and way more in depth than, say, the boxing in GTA 5. Next up, Rockstar discussed the possibility of having a fishing role. Rockstar's Scott Butcherd said, I'm also a big fan of fishing in the game and feel there could be some scope to expand on that in the same way we did hunting. And here he was specifically talking about specialist roles and the way they made the naturalist role all about hunting, and they could have some other role, you know, featured around fishing, maybe even introducing a legendary fish into the game, as they've already mentioned in another interview with another outlet that they plan to actually extend legendaries. Rockstar also gave another hint to this in their interview with a Japanese outlet, and they said Harry and Gus weren't just disposable characters, they both wanted to be realistic people who could exist in the world. It may be featured in future content as well. Alright, so this is the last quote I've got for you guys in today's video, and Rockstar discuss more about the history in Red Dead Online and the setting that they'll be introducing content into the game in. They said a huge amount of historical research was done for both Red Dead Redemption and Red Dead Redemption 2, and Red Dead Online has been able to make use of every aspect of it as we build out the world. Everything is considered as much as possible, how people in the era would speak, the clothing, the weaponry, and every facet of the living world around our content. That said, we're not trying to be completely historically accurate, but this is a fictional story in a fictional version of the Old West. So what Rockstar are basically saying is they're keeping the door open to introducing content that might be slightly not historically accurate. So I don't think we'll be seeing flying motorbikes with rockets anytime soon in Red Dead Online, but I think there is maybe a possibility to see more maybe supernatural type of content, maybe some like apocalypse horses that we had in the original Red Dead game that might have flames coming out of them. I feel like players would go crazy for that kind of stuff. Guys, if you did enjoy today's video, it actually took me a ton of time to translate all 6 of these articles and go through all the fluff to find out the new information for you guys. So please just take a second and leave the video a like. It really just helps support the video and my channel in general. And if you are new, don't forget to hit that big red subscribe button so you don't miss out on any future breaking news about Red Dead Online. Hope you guys have a great day, and I'll catch you in the next one.